Reasons behind Hurricane Harvey flooding. I wanted to share my testimony on what Jesus told me in the last few days. In the recent weeks, I have been sinning so greatly and have fallen to the kingdom of darkness. I have been suffering greatly from loss of my job for the past month or so. I had financial problems. And more critically, my spiritual relationship with Jesus has not been in good standing. I have been sinning a lot. I committed many deliberate, willful sins to mock God. Even though Jesus sent me more angels to protect me, I was still struggling and losing control of myself because I had been so tired spiritually. I was gone weary and felt hopeless. God allowed only certain things to happen in my failure as a protection. My spirit is wanting to continue to serve God, but my soul and flesh say I'm tired of it and want to rebel against God. I want to go out of my own ways. I have been a troubled soul. Only God's mercy and my spirit still cooperating is what's keeping me going. Otherwise, I would fall straight to the kingdom of darkness. The shadow government, or called one world government, working behind the scenes in the eyes of public, has been numerously attempting to start a nuclear war, martial law, enforce mark of the beast, and many other terrible things. Jesus says their strategic command center and shelter are in underground cities. So when the nuclear war breaks out, they believe they can be protected from it and let most people outside to die. Through our prayers and pain and suffering, God has been stopping the one world government from starting this terrible event. But when people don't pray to God and fast, this allows the devil to gain ground, and the enemy will gain power to start the nuclear war. But I fear that Jesus' followers and myself are so tired now. So many of us are on the verge of falling that we might not be able to hold our position any longer and let the devil to overtake us. I told Jesus, you can't let tribulation to happen now because if you do, just about everyone, because we're not ready, would get left behind in the tribulation, suffer great pain and terror, even taking great risk losing faith in you due to fear and unbelief grow in us. And I continued, I know you won't let the evil leaders to start the war now because of this. But all those brides that didn't pray and fast when you asked us to would be in great risk getting left behind in the tribulation. I myself felt hopeless and felt like I am one of the lost, failed souls that would get left behind, and was thinking about moving to Russia as God's punishment will be lighter there. When the catastrophic flood from the Hurricane Harvey happened in Texas in recent days, Jesus spoke to me in my heart that all those people, tens of thousands of people that are suffering from flood, carry great cross to convert many lost souls to God's kingdom and to help stop the one world government from starting a nuclear war. Jesus' followers are losing ground and failing to carry their cross. Jesus is using all those people suffering in the flood in Texas to back us up. They give a nice big boost to God's kingdom to fight against evil. Jesus says not only Christians qualify for suffering for God's kingdom, but the non-Christians as well, as they will eventually come to God and serve Him in the future. There are no qualifications who is better and who is not, as we all are filthy sinners. Jesus mentioned about the charity that also gives huge boost to His kingdom. All those neighbors and people from the other states that are coming to help the needy in the disaster also serve much for God's kingdom. Jesus says He can't just let the evil leaders in the shadow government to start the world war and take everybody out when there are people out there suffering and helping each other out. Jesus' brides, servants, disciples weigh much to God's kingdom too, but only if we persevere, continue to pray, and offer our sacrifices. Jesus says those Christians that are hoping for the world war to happen are against Him. So we are fighting against them as well in the spiritual warfare. That's why it's so much harder to put off the fire. More prayers and sacrifices are needed. Jesus tells us to pray for the people suffering in the flood, to not blame God, and instead come to Him and rely on Him instead. Jesus is telling us to be thankful to those people for giving us a backup. If it wasn't for their suffering, we could be in world war right now, suffering from famine and diseases, and being hunted by evil militants. I didn't expect Jesus to speak to me like this because I have been sinning so badly recently. I have been serving the devil, and he still gave me knowledge and wisdom why the flooding in Texas happened and why it is so important. Jesus is so patient and merciful. This gave me hope to continue my walk with Him. I am still in real mess spiritually, and it would take a while for me to recover. Jesus is urging us to continue to be faithful to Him. Help the needy. Pray. Fast if you can. It doesn't have to be skipping meals every day, but avoid eating sweets or doing something that feeds your flesh. Every inconveniences or pain is counted as fasting. Jesus is telling us to fast till this dangerous moment is over. It shouldn't be long. Also, do pray for Donald Trump, as he is a chosen man by Jesus, and he is doing everything he can to bring righteousness and restore this nation. Pray for him and his people, his employees, and the people in his administration to do what is right and stand for God. Jesus wanted people to know that their pain and suffering don't go wasted. They serve good for His kingdom. With our prayers, the lost souls can be blessed and later give their hearts to Jesus and live with Him in heaven. Hang tight and stay faithful to Jesus. Jesus bless you.